Hello, everyone, and welcome again to From Piece to Piece, the Piece by Piece podcast. I'm your host, Nayobé Reemnet, and I'm also Miss Voluptuous Suriname 2025, and also the founder of Piece by Piece, a platform created to help young people explore their identity and use their voice to make a real difference in the world. Each episode, we speak to inspiring individuals who are turning their puzzle pieces, their stories, values, and experiences into action. Whether you're just started or looking to grow your advocacy, you're in the right place right here. So let's welcome our guest for this episode, Floortje Bartels. I see she's already here, so we're going to invite her right now. Hello, Floortje.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. A bit nervous, but it's normal, I guess.
No need to be nervous. This is a safe space, and we're just going to talk about you, your platform, and everything that makes you you. So don't worry. If anything gets too nervous, just say so. Okay?
Yes,
Okay. So, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
of course. Well, hello everyone. I'm Floortje Bartels. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a finalist for Miss Teen Nederland. And I'm an advocate against sexual abuse. And I really hope to support survivors and victims still of sexual abuse. I'm also an ambassador of the Vinci College, the school I go to. So I really hope to make a change through social media and in school life. In my free time, I love to spend time with friends and I love to sing. So that's who I am.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And could you explain your identity in 3 words?
Of course, I'm a bit chaotic, but also very purposeful, and I would describe myself as brave too, I guess.
Amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
Um, okay, so we're gonna dive right into the first segment of this podcast, which is all
Yes,
about you and your identity. You have competed in pageants before.
I have.
What first drew you to the pageant world, and what's the reason why you chose to participate in Miss Teen Nederland?
Well, I first started off doing pageant because I saw it on Instagram, and it's always been a big dream of mine to stand in some kind of spotlight. And I've always loved beauty and walking on stage. So when the opportunity came that I got to call to the casting, I really, really was so excited. And this is my third pageant, so I've learned a whole lot about pageantry in the last years. And after I did my first pageant, I saw that Miss Teen Nederland was a pageant, and it was a month after after the pageant I was participating in. So I thought it was a bit too soon for me to enter last year. But when I met Savina, and she said, you can always try. I immediately signed up for the casting, and when I heard I was a finalist for Miss Teen Nederland, it was such a relief. I was so happy. I I always tend to get nervous, but I was really confident about what I stand for because last year I got to this advocacy, so I was really confident in that, and I know what my qualities are. So in some kind of way, I'm confident about what I'm doing, but I always tend to get very nervous. So when I heard I was a finalist, I was so happy.
Oh,
And the pageant really, I believe it really suits me because the pageant really lets out the qualities of a young individual woman, and that's really a thing that I stand for. And also the three titles, I love them all. So in this pageant, there are so many beautiful things. So I'm so happy to be a finalist for this
yeah.
pageant.
And it's well deserved because you're doing so great. And
Thank
I'm
you.
honestly super proud of seeing your growth. You also mentioned that you're an ambassador for Da Vinci College.
Yes.
Could you tell us a bit about that title and what it means, what it involves? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sure. So I'm a student at the Vinci College, and every year a school has to decide someone that can represent them. And after I participated in my first pageant, the school reached out to me and said, "We've seen you do this and this and this. Maybe you'd like to compete in a little competition to be the ambassador of the Vinci College."
Oh.
So I really went in blank-minded, like, okay, I'm gonna see what this is. And after 2 sessions, we got to vote on who the ambassador would be, and I got out. I was the ambassador for year 2024. So I was really, really proud of that. And after that, I got to compete in a competition that's called Dit is MBO. And Dit is MBO is all about what MBO schools do in the Netherlands. And I got to share my story as an MBO student. So and I got really to represent Da Vinci College. And what I've done within Da Vinci College is that I've done an inspiration day, and I got to lead a workshop called Who's the Teacher, Who's the Student? And there I got to talk to different teachers about topics that don't often come up in classes. And I got to talk about why don't those topics come up in classes. So, and I've already given my title to a next ambassador. So I'm not really the ambassador anymore, but I've always stayed within the team. And also, as an ambassador of Da Vinci College, I liked 1.5 weeks ago, I got to go to Turkey to represent Da Vinci College. Wow. And I got to talk with international students and international organizations there about what we do and what I stand for and what we stand for as a school. So I got to do really, really cool things with this school.
That's
I'm really proud of that.
amazing. How old are you again?
18.
Girl, that's amazing. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
Yeah, in the previous episode, I also already said that I also started pretty early when I was starting to make impact and stuff. But this is out of this world. This is amazing.
Thank you so much.
You'd be super proud of yourself. So I'm actually really, I'm really interested to know what inspired you to start making impact, to start speaking out for others, and taking on such a big role.
Yes, well, I've said it before. When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be on stage. So that was like a little first step. And I've always been, when I was a kid, I've always been the one to speak up. But when I was 15, sadly, I experienced sexual abuse myself, and I didn't dare to talk about it back then. So I'm so proud of all the younger girls in our competition, because there are girls that are 15 and 16 and they're speaking up about topics like mental health. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my God, so good of you to speak up at that age, because I didn't dare. And last year when I was 17, I started to think that I wanted an advocacy that suits me the most, and that was an advocacy about sexual abuse, because of course I experienced it myself, and I experienced how hard it can be to live in the silence, because not everyone knows what is sexual abuse, what is consent, all those topics. And also me myself, I didn't know much of it, only my experience. So this year I really started to dig into the subject, because when I want to educate people about it, I don't want to use only my experience, because sexual abuse is like this big and I know only my
Of
experience.
course.
But when I started to find out more and more about this subject, and that there are so many people experiencing this, I really started to dig in deeper. And then I went to het CSG Centrum Seksueel Geweld, and I learned there so much. And really, through this pageant, I really started to think, oh, I might make a real difference by talking about
Yeah, of
this.
course.
And just really looking at what I'm doing, I can see, like, I'm so proud that I'm becoming the girl I needed when I was 15, when I was at that age, and when I was experiencing this. So that's when I really thought, oh yeah, I want to keep on doing this. And of course, that is one of my biggest motivations, to educate all the young people about this subject. and also looking at myself knowing, oh, I would have needed this when I was at that point. So that is really a motivation for me.
It's a beautiful motivation. I
Thank
myself
you.
also am a survival of sexual a survivor of
Mm-hmm.
sexual abuse, and I know for certain that if I had someone speaking out and sharing stories like you are right now, that would have really helped me to give it a place.
Thank you so much.
So it's really inspiring.
Thank you so,
Um,
so much.
of course. Now we've already kind of cut into the next segment of the podcast. Goes really fast.
It does.
Well, now that we've cut into your advocacy and what it stands for, I'd like to know more about your series because you launched your own series, Testify,
Yes.
speaking the unspoken. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes. Of course, I started that series because of the Piece by Piece challenge.
Hmm.
But I did before this challenge, I really was into all these other little projects for the pageant, and I really had a hard time to bring that out on social media. So I was really looking for what can I do that I can really take with my followers with me, and I can really, get that action interaction with them. And then this challenge came, and I sat down with Sabina. I said, what should I do? I don't know. I really want to start a great action. And she said, maybe you can do a little storytelling. So I also dug into how can you bring that the best. And then I started thinking, well, when I was at that age, I knew, and when I was in those feelings, I really can remember that I really wanted to tell my story, but I didn't dare to speak up about it. But I did want to have my story out in the open, but not from myself.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I can help others by telling their story. So I started off by first telling my story because, I'm gonna get stories from others and I wanted to build up that trust. So I thought maybe I should share my story first. And I never really shared my story, so this was the best opportunity to
How
do
did that
so.
feel to share your own story? That must have been super nerve-wracking.
It was kind of scary, but also it was like the biggest relief when I posted the video, and I luckily got so many positive comments and so many stories of other people like, thank you so much for sharing your story. It made me change my mind about subjects like these. So I luckily got almost only positive reactions, but indeed it was very nerve-wracking. While posting it, I was, oh, now everybody's gonna know my story. But the second I posted it and the second it was online, I really stood by what I did because my story deserves to be out there. And by putting that example, I hoped to open a door for others to tell their story. And luckily that worked out so, so good because I've received so many stories. It was kind of overwhelming and also very crazy to read everyone's story and know really are so many people experiencing this but not talking about it. And that really also opened my eyes again that what I'm doing is really the right thing for me now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is how the series started.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I can imagine that it's also very inspiring to know that you're not the only one. Because,
Yes, it is.
yeah, like I talked to some of my friends about the piece by piece challenges that I saw, and yours was specifically very inspiring because my friends were like, yes, like I also recognize the things that she's talking about, and the fact that it's something that's continuing and something that we're seeing more often on your page also makes you more recognizable and makes you an actual advocate that we can recognize, which is really nice. And I must like I think that's also very nice for you, right?
Yes, of course, but because, like I said, I was doing loads and loads of things and working on projects, small projects, big projects, but I didn't really know how to bring that onto social media because it can be very hard. You know, you're emailing with organizations. I was working on my book, but I wasn't allowed, and I wasn't ready to share all those information. So it really was for me like, I need to do something so that people do know what I'm advocating about, and like to build a little bridge for when the book is ready, which is now this week. I posted it online. I'm so happy about that. But there needed to be also a little bridge that people already knew what I was doing, because when I was launching the book and nobody would know about what I was doing, they would be like, "Oh, what is this about?
Yeah.
Why this?" So the series was really also, yeah, I believe that it is one of the biggest projects I've done during this pageant, but it was also a good bridge to build to my book. So I'm really, really proud of the series.
I love that. Well, we'll get into your book in a bit, but I'm also very curious to find out what the most moving or the most surprising responses that someone gave you after seeing your series.
Well, for me, it was very hard, but also indeed very moving that I got a lot of messages from people that I knew personally. And when I heard that they experienced such kind of things as sexual assault, and I did not know about it, and then they told me, that was a very special moment for me. But also that there were so many underage girls sending me their stories. I was really, Naya, you can say
I
emotional,
can imagine.
emotionated
Yeah.
by those stories, because they wanted to share their stories, but I was like a bit holding back in that position, because even though I'm sharing their stories, I really believe that it's super important for everyone to know that it will be online. People will always can see those stories, and even though they don't know the story is about you, it's very important to know what you want to share, that you're not oversharing and not
Of
overstepping
course.
your boundaries. So I really got to read so many stories that I'm not gonna post all of them, because sometimes I really feel like maybe right now you want me to tell that, and right maybe you want me to post it, but also keeping in mind, is it the right time for you right now? Knowing you're underage, knowing what you've experienced is so very difficult. And maybe in a few years you're looking back and you see your story on my page, and you think, I didn't want that to be in that position, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to overshare at that time. So that was also really hard for me, because I don't want to reject anyone's stories, and I want to listen and I want to talk about it. And of course, I want to share everyone's story, but you should really be mindful about what you share. And in a few years, would you still look back at it and be proud of what you did and stand behind your story and how you tell them to me? So I really had to reject some stories, like rejection in that I'm not gonna post it in the series. But it was really moving for me that they did want to talk about it with me, and that they came to me for advice. So that was moving slash overwhelming,
Yeah.
because for
I
me
can
it also was
imagine
really
because
hard.
you're also just a girl at the end of the day. How is it to to carry that load? Because I can imagine that it's a lot, right?
Yeah, it is, and I'm so proud that I can give the advice to lots of people. But also sometimes it's really, I really have to reflect on myself, and you recognize stories and you recognize things that you've gone through yourself. So sometimes that it has been hard. But also every time I read a story, I believe I made a step in my own healing process, because I've made big steps already. But I do believe that healing goes a long way. And through this pageant and through things I've experienced within my advocacy, I really think I healed so much more than I expected to. And there were things that I didn't think, I thought there were closed books. And when I read stories, I rediscovered that some pieces I also haven't healed fully from. So that was really, uh, yeah, an emotional experience, but also a really heartfelt. And I was so happy that I could help others with my experience and with the information I dug into for this advocacy. So then you really get that grateful feeling that, I did this for a reason and it is real, because sometimes, you're posting things on social media, but is it helping? Is it
Yeah.
working? You never know. And through this series, I really started to know that what I'm doing is indeed helping. So that was very, very good.
Yeah, no, well, I think it is indeed helping. And I want to go back a little bit because just now you said that you feel like you've healed some pieces of your past. And I heard piece and I thought, hey, for the piece by piece challenge,
Hmm.
you also had to fill in the piece by piece workbook, every piece of
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Could you share with us your identity puzzle? Because I think
I
we're quite.
have it here.
Could you pick
Um,
out three pieces to talk about?
well, I believe I have loads and loads of drawings in the puzzle. And a really big piece of me is my may sound a little crazy, but like a year ago we adopted my dog Bobby, and my love for him is so so big, and I really believe, that might sound crazy, but he healed parts of me that I didn't know that they needed to be healed. And I really think he's really my superhero. He's like this big, but he is my
Oh.
superhero. He healed so much inside me. I always wanted a dog, and now I have Bobby, and I,
Aw.
I love him so so much.
I love
So
that.
yeah, he really healed pieces inside of me, because the crazy thing with dogs, they can talk,
Mhm.
but their communication is really physically. So that is, yeah, I love him so much. Oh, my baby. No, but the pieces of my puzzle that really inspired me to start this challenge, I think, is, of course, pageantry is a really big piece of me since like 1 2 years.
Mhm.
So that is become really my confident piece. So through pageantry, this was the opening for me to talk about subjects like
Uh-huh.
these. Of course, a big piece of me is my own experience with sexual abuse. So that also really got it started. And I love music. So, through listening to music and finding out music that really suits the
Mhm.
occasion, like there are some songs that I always listen to when I'm in my feelings. And also some of those songs, like the songs from Pink, they always really motivate me to keep going.
Same.
So yes, I love Pink, but that's also a big part of me. So I think all the puzzle pieces combined really got this started.
Amazing. Can you show it one more time because it's so beautiful with all the pictures? Amazing. Okay, well, then we're
That's
gonna.
Bobby.
I love it. So cute. And quite accurate too, honestly.
I believe it is. I really did my best, and it worked out.
Okay, then we're gonna move into the last section, voices in action. I'd like to know more about your book because you said that you wrote your own book. Tell me all about it.
Here it is. Yes, I wrote my own book. In Dutch it's called Jij bent niet alleen. In English, You're Not Alone.
Mm-hmm.
And right when I became a finalist, I really thought, okay, I want to do something big this pageant.
Mm-hmm.
But doing something big takes time. So I really started when I became a finalist, and now 3.5 months later, the book is finally ready, and I got it printed, and when I when I'm holding it, yeah, I love what this book became. And what is so special about this book is it is of course about my advocacy and this pageant. really gave me the opportunity to write this book. But I got to write this book by the help of Vinci
I
College, because
love
I'm still
that.
in the ambassadors team. And with a few teachers and a few fellow students, I sat down and I said, I would like to do this like a normal conversation. I was talking
Hmm.
about my plans for this pageant. And then they said, "Oh, but I would like to help, and I would like to help." And and all of a
So
sudden, I got
amazing.
all these people wanting to help me with this. So they all saw the bigger picture, behind my story. So that was such a special moment. And of course, that my school really saw something inside of that book was really a moment for me that I thought, wow, maybe this can be something. So
Yeah.
I started writing, and with a fellow student, she constantly looked with me to the text, and she fine tuned the information in the book.
And
And there
if
was
our
another
listeners
student.
would like to, like, if they are like, wow, this is a cool book, what is it about? Can you tell in short what it would be about? Who is this book?
Well, I did write the book for teenagers at first,
Hmm.
so between 12 and 18, because it really is a book that is easy to read. I can show a little inside. It is easy
Oh,
to read
wow.
because the information is not that long and not that deep, but still hitting the point that I understand what is written in this book.
Hmm.
And the book obviously is about sexual abuse and how to understand it better. How can you see when another maybe is experiencing sexual abuse? That talking is hard, but how can you talk?
Hmm.
And what the power in this book is, what I believe, that I try to constantly remind people that whatever is happening, whatever happened, it isn't your fault what happened to you. So I really believe that that is the power in this book. And in the back of the book there are some facts, like numbers, or a few things you can go to when you need help. So, the book is really easy to read. I did that on purpose so that everybody can go through the book and understand it. So, I really believe that that is the power of You're Not Alone.
Oh, I love that so much. I might pick it up myself as well because I think I could use these tips as well. I also saw on your page that you've been to schools to talk about the subject. Could you share a little bit more about that as well?
Of course, I've been to the after school care where my best friend is entering.
Hmm.
And there I read a little book I got from Centrum Seksueel Geweld, because the age there was like 8 to 11.
Hmm.
And for that particular age, I really started struggling. How can I tell these children about a topic like
Yeah.
this? But I read a book to them, and the book was about a not so fun secret. So they can, in their minds, they can put everything in there. So a not so fun secret can be sexual abuse, but it also can be something else. And how can you handle a not so fun secret? So I really hope that I got to explain these children something. And after that, I did a little exercise where one kid must walk like how do you call it, must walk through obstacles blindfolded,
Hmm.
and another kid must lead them through it. And by that, I wanted to gain some trust between the children, and
Hmm.
how can they explain what there needs to be done, and
Beautiful.
how can they trust one another to tell what needs to be done. So I really wanted to tell them something, but obviously they're kids, so they want to do things, and I like to combine those two things. So I was really proud of what we did for them.
Yeah, you should be. I used to be an after school program teacher as
Oh,
well.
so fun.
Yeah, and I know that the kids love things like this. It's always very nice when you can add an important message to a fun activity. So I'm sure that they will keep this in mind as well whenever they grow up. And I just hope that they don't have to use the information in practice if it's sexual assault. But it would be great to like have our kids be more resilient to things like this. So,
I completely agree.
well, I also asked you to prepare a mini piece mission. Could you tell me what yours is? And for our listeners who weren't there the last time, a mini piece mission is a piece of advice or a little activity that that our guests will bring to us, and we can practice it this week.
Yes, well, I really thought on this because obviously I wanted to link it to the Testify, Speaking the Unspoken
Mm-hmm.
series. But I believe my power in this advocacy is that I turn something really painful into a powerful moment. So my mini challenge is to write down every week what was maybe painful for you, but how you turned it into a powerful moment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, so you can share your a story or a photo or a little video of how you did that, like by writing down or by doing an action to make something painful very powerful, and to put the hashtag piece by piece so that I can follow everyone. But I really thought that maybe there lies the strength, because there are so many sad and hurtful things that you get in your life, but you must make something powerful of it to keep going. And I really think it suited the series very
I
well.
love that.
So that is my mini
I
challenge.
love it so much. I'm definitely gonna try that out. It's funny because with the Miss Voluptuous pageantry, we have this big group chat with all the sisters in there, and we always do a win of the week.
Mhm.
So it's kind of similar to this.
Oh, that's
I'm
so
definitely
fun.
gonna bring it up to the queens, and maybe we can try it all together. So
Yes, that
thank you
would be
so
so
much.
cool.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're gonna give me 1 second. Yes. We're gonna put an end to the conversation. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your story, Floortje. It means the world, and your voice is such a powerful piece of the bigger picture that we are building. Can you tell us where we can follow your impact?
You can follow my impact on Instagram. My Instagram is floor.bartels. And you can follow my journey through Miss Teen Nederland. The finals are in 2 weeks, so it's very exciting. I'm so excited for the finals. I've worked really hard, I believe. So we're gonna see. All the girls have been so amazing, and I'm really excited.
Yes, so am I. I'm definitely gonna keep tabs on you guys. You're all doing amazing, and I know that you are definitely gonna shine. Keep doing what you're doing. And to our listeners, if you love this conversation, make sure to follow the following episodes of From Peace to Peace. Also, check out our workbook series on the official Piece by Piece website. And if you do anything or the mini piece challenge from Floortje, definitely tag both of us and use the hashtag piece by piece so we can follow you. Until next time. Bye,
Yes,
Floortje.
thank you.
Bye.